What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another match preview. Special guest on here today. I got Joe from AllLeedsTV. How you doing, Joe?
Yeah, great, Curtis, man. Great, buzzing. Can't wait for the game Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be a good one, man.
It is going to be. I mean, it's a shame. We were just saying we would have both been there probably. It would have been a great atmosphere, Elland Road. I've been to Elland Road a couple of times, actually. You got that big stand, haven't you? That massive stand that kind of overlooks the pitch, man. It's a great atmosphere up there.
Yeah.
Do you think having no fans at the stadium just throughout the season, do you think that will have an effect on Leeds?
Yeah, I think so, Curtis, because ultimately, I think, like, take the City game, for example, where it was 1-1, great game of football. But I look at that game and think maybe some of the individuals in the Man City team maybe will under the pressure a little bit, because when we're peppering City's goal, the noise is going to be electric, you know, corner after corner. And I'm thinking sometimes fans can drag that ball into the net. I know it sounds daft, but genuinely, I think the atmosphere would play a massive part and would have done against Arsenal, to be fair, because I look at some of the individuals and maybe not used to coming to a ground like that. I think the most one you could liken it to, I guess, is like Sheffield United. I don't know if you went up to Bramall Lane last season, you know. It's really tight, close to the pitch, you know, one of them old school grounds, you know, not like the new ones that get created. So, yeah, obviously it will probably hurt us over the season. We probably would accumulate more points, but I still think Leeds United will do all right and stay up with or without the fans this season.
Yeah, do you know what? I've watched you a couple of times this year. I've been really impressed with how you play football. You move the ball well. What kind of like formation do you play?
So it's normally like a 4-1-4-1. So you'll have Calvin normally, who should be back for the game as well, which is a massive plus.
That's a shame.
He'll be sitting in front of the back four. And then, like I say, in midfield, probably Rodrigo and Click, both like Rodrigo more as a 10, Click as an 8. And then on the wing, you'll have Harrison. And for me, hopefully Rafinha in replace of Costa. But I'm not sure if Bielsa will do that. And then, of course, the man in electric form, Patrick Bamford, leading the line.
Yeah. I mean, Calvin Phillips, just touching on him, I heard a lot about him when he was in the Championship. Obviously, seen him a lot more close up now. How good do you think he is? And I know, obviously, you don't want to think about him ever leaving Leeds, but do you think he's somebody who could play for an Arsenal, a Manchester City, someone of that sort of level?
Yeah, of course, I do. I think, you know, he's got caps at England now. You know, he's well thought of in that respect. There'll be a lot of clubs that maybe, I know Villa in the summer, the initial summer where we didn't go up, put in quite a big bid for him, and he turned it down because he wanted to get Leeds back in the Prem. However, you know, maybe some of the big clubs that might have been looking at him were waiting to see how he would adapt to the Premier League. And I mean, he's had such a meteoric rise as well. I mean, under Bielsa, when he first came in, we had him and a kid called Ronaldo Vieira. And we sold Ronaldo Vieira. He went to Serie A, and a lot of fans were like, I probably would have preferred Calvin to go. And that's the truth of it. Even though he's a Leeds lad, there was a lot of players that didn't think he was up to it. And Bielsa's came in and played him in DM, and just totally changed his game. And he's you could easily look at the last few results. You know, the Pepperins, we've got 4-1 in the last 2 games. He wasn't in them games. I think if he plays, it's a different game. He's that integral to how we play. He just pops up everywhere. And like I say, you'll see on Saturday, he's a top-level operator, man.
Do you know what I've seen of him now? I would probably start him for England next to Henderson. I think I'm not a big fan of Declan Rice. I think he's limited. I wouldn't even mind Phillips in the Arsenal midfield, to be honest. I think he'd do a better job than like Granit Xhaka.
Yeah.
We've obviously just found out today that Thomas Partey is not available for the game.
Buzzing with that. You know, when I seen it come through, I was like, get in there.
Oh, my days. I mean, El Neni as well, who I don't particularly rate El Neni, but he's out as well, obviously, with COVID. We're probably going to end up with Xhaka and Ceballos in midfield. It's not a great midfield.
On Ceballos as well, do you think he'll play? Is there any truth to these rumours? Because obviously he had the kick-off with Eddie. We're a big fan of Eddie, by the way. Top player. Yeah, he obviously was on loan at Leeds for first part of the season, last season. Do you think he'll go with Ceballos? Because obviously, if he's fighting with Eddie, and now these rumours are true about him getting bopped in the nose by David Luiz, then
Yeah.
will he play him? You know, what's the story there?
I mean, we're short of options. I think we've only got 3 centre mids. We got Joe Willock, so he could go with Joe Willock, but he's been playing 2 in midfield. Joe Willock is not the most disciplined, so I can only really see him going Xhaka and Ceballos, which I think Leeds will look at that and think they can cause problems. So, yeah, seeing Thomas Partey not available, that gives you a lot of massive boost.
Yeah.
I think number one, it shows how good you lot have been, that some people are actually saying you're favourites to win the game. I mean, that's how bad we are. I just want to talk about Eddie Nketiah there. I mean, he goes on loan to Leeds. You send him back after 6 months, and he came back to Arsenal. He's got kind of a mixed opinion of him at Arsenal. He's a very good poacher, but his all-round game's quite limited, we think. What did you think of him when he was at Leeds?
He was brilliant, man. He scored some key goals. I mean, that's what you can be certain with Eddie. He knows where the back of the net is, man. There was a few games where he came on and nicked some very, very important goals. And for that, he'll always be loved by Leeds United fans. I really rate him. And I think one day, I mean, you might tell me different, but I think he'll lead the line at a top club. The only thing with Eddie was, in terms of our style of play, it didn't really work. We need. If you look at what Paddy does, he holds the ball up well. He chases down defenders. You know, he's all over the pitch. And when Eddie was on, it just didn't have that same feel. And this is at a time when Paddy wasn't scoring goals, and Leeds United fans were saying, "Put Eddie in the side. Put Eddie in the side." You know, but then when he did, we could see straight away the difference. There was a game we played West Brom, the game before he went back to Arsenal, and he started that game, and we were pretty shocking in the first half. Patrick Bamford comes on in the second half, changed the complexion of the game and scored a goal, you know, and we ended up 1-0 actually. So he's a great player. He just wasn't suited to how Bielsa wanted to play, what he expects from his front man. You know, if you look over the history, he's had players like Llorente, for example, who was at Spurs for a while. There's more to than just putting the ball in the back of the net as a striker in Bielsa, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think Bamford, I mean, he surprised me how well he's done this season, actually, because I wasn't even sure he'd do much in the Premier League, but he's hit form at the wrong time as far as we're concerned. Let me just take this super chat. Big up Peter with a super chat. He says, Curtis, if we lose our next 3, does Arteta lose his job? Big up your channel, like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, Peter. I think, bearing in mind, if we lost to Leeds, we then play Wolves, we then play Tottenham, I think his job would be on the line if he lost all 3 of them. We've already lost 4 out of 8. That would be 7 out of 10. I mean, I think his job would be on the line. How have you, I mean, I don't know how much you've watched us this season, but how have you viewed Arsenal? I mean, are you watching us? Are you going into this weekend's game thinking, "Oh, it's going to be a tough one," or are you thinking, you know what, I'm excited. I think we can beat them.
Yeah, I am. Look, I have a lot of respect for Arsenal, huge club. I do. At the start of the season, mate, I was pipping you, pushing the team to push City and Liverpool the most, and I got quite a lot of a negative backlash for that, saying you don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, nah, I think the signing of Willian's a good signing. He's experienced. Obviously, Gabriel's come in and done wonders at centre back. But as I've seen, he's not really letting the shackles off, is he, Arteta? And I think the thing with me, and playing Aubameyang on the left, for me, needs to be starting in the middle. You know, you've got Lacazette there who just can't hit a barn door at the minute, so switch that up. But I do look at this game, mate, and I think we can get at you. You know, Arsenal will play out from the back. I was reading earlier on, I think Leno has the shortest average pass in the whole division. So it shows that you like to play it in the box, you know, in your own box. I think Arsenal have the most touches in their own box than any other team. So based on that and the fact that we press high and we press with pace and press with numbers, I think we're going to catch you. And I look at players like Luiz, he can be kamikaze at times, and I think he can be caught on the ball. And we can definitely get at Arsenal, I do. But in the same breath, you know, you've seen with the likes of Leicester and Palace, we can be got at on the counter. It's just whether or not Arsenal can attack in enough pace in transition. Because I don't see them having the pace that a Vardy and a Barnes do, or a Zaha and a Townsend. Do you know what I mean? I think it's more methodical, and I think we'll be able to get back into shape a lot quicker than if we were playing speed merchants, do you know?
Yeah. Big up my guy, Deluded Gooner in the chats. Make sure you all go and subscribe to his channel as well. And obviously, don't forget to subscribe to Joe's channel, AllLeedsTV. As you're saying there, the funny thing is, you talk about the pace in transition. The frustrating thing for us is we have got that pace. If you look at Aubameyang, you look at Pepe, but we're not actually releasing it. We're playing so deep. We're so slow in transition. What do you think? I mean, you don't want to give too much away, but what is the way that Arsenal can hurt this Leeds team? Because obviously you've conceded a lot in the last couple of games.
Yeah. It is just getting it from back to front quick, Curtis. You know, that's the thing. You know, you've got the technical ability within your team to beat the man-marking system, to beat the press. If when you do that, there will be gaps. There will be a lot of space to Arsenal to exploit. It just needs to be moved quick. You know, if Xhaka can nick a ball off a click, for example, he needs to be pinging it for a Willian, pinging it for an Aubameyang into the space, and they need to be attacking the space, because that's the thing with Leeds United. I know when people watch us, they're like, yeah, they're shocking at the back. It's not the case. It's just the way we play. There will be games where we get scalps. Like, we might look at the City game. We almost took Liverpool all the way. I think we could get something at the weekend. But there will also be games where we're on the ends of spankings due to the way that we play. And if Arsenal can nick it and move it quick into them spaces in behind the back line, then of course you can hurt us. It's just whether or not Arteta, like you say, is willing to let the shackles off and say, when you get that ball, bam, quick transitions, away you go, you know?
Yeah. Someone was saying there, how does Bielsa communicate? Does he actually speak English, or does he just choose not to?
Yeah, of course he does. Of course he does, Curtis. I mean, it's more a case of he hates the media. He doesn't like doing it. Like, if it was up to him, he wouldn't do it. But of course, the club have to do it, you know. They have to do it. So if it was up to him, he probably wouldn't do it. Of course, he can speak English. He communicates with the lads. You know, we seen that on the documentary where it's quite funny. Some fans were outside his house and speaking to him, and then you can see him, like, the odd thing they'll say, he'll turn and respond to.
Yeah.
But then I think it's just a way of distancing himself and not having to open up too much to the media. Of course, he can speak English. And I think as well, we get a lot of it. It's like, oh, he can't even speak. So what? Like, I don't get what the issue is. You know what the media's like, you know, these people saying, oh, he doesn't even speak English. If he speaks English, it'd be even better. And I'm like, where does that even come from, man? You know?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about Bielsa? I mean, looking from the outside, I look at him and I think, what an amazing manager this guy is. I suppose the question a lot of people will say is, if he's that good, without being disrespectful, why did he join a team in the Championship? Do you know what I mean? He's lauded by Pep Guardiola. I've heard Arteta speak about him. Why do you think he chose the Leeds United job?
What it is, like you say, he could have many jobs across Europe. You know, we get it a lot of time. Well, what if someone said to me yesterday, actually, on the Football Terrace, what if Arteta got sacked? Would you be worried that he'd go to Arsenal? And the answer is no. And the reason that is because Bielsa picks the club. He picks the project. You know, he looks at the city. If you look at some of the clubs he's been at, there's always a little bit of a story behind it. And he's looked at Leeds United, in my opinion, a sleeping giant, out of the Premier League for 16 years. He's come over and he's done what he set out to do. And I think he's not into all this boardroom stuff that you might get at some of the big clubs. And that's maybe why he's not worked at them. But yeah, Bielsa chooses you. Not you choose Bielsa. Because he's had offers before, Curtis, and turned them down, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I heard at one stage that the owners of PSG were looking to buy Leeds.
Yeah, so Radrazani is he's in TV, like TV money, football sports rights. He's got a company called 11 Sports, and they buy the rights for like the Premier League, etc. And then send them out in like
yeah.
Asia and stuff like that in the Far East. And through that, he's built up a relationship with the owner of PSG. So there was noise coming out that possibly they were looking to invest. That still could happen. But we've also got links with the 49ers, and they've increased their stake by a further 10%. So I think what Radrazani is trying to do, because he understands he probably doesn't have the capital, he's bringing in decent people, taking a percentage and getting money that way. But listen, if they were to come in and we were to establish, then it'd be amazing, man. Do you know what I mean? Get Neymar on loan.
Oh dear. Let me just get into this super chat. Big up Peter again. Thank you very much. He said, loving this Leeds fan, like Big C talking pure sense. Hey, they like you on the channel, man.
That's good. Come and join us, man, AllLeedsTV.
So in terms of Bielsa, like what have you seen that's so good of him? Is he very good tactically? Can he adjust quickly in game? What's been so good about him?
Curtis, honestly, mate, it's pinch yourself moments at time. This is the best football I've ever seen. I still remember to this day, it's one of my best memories going his first game against Stoke. Stoke were the favourites in the Championship, having just come down, and we battered them 4-1. And it was like, I remember me and my friend have been going years, obviously, and we were like looking at each other saying, what's happened to our football club, you know? Genuinely, the football is absolutely amazing. And for him to do what he's done. And in terms of what he does, like I say, it's refreshing to see. Like now, for example, in this international break, I have to sit and watch England and it bores me to tears. It bores me to tears, you know, because I'm used to seeing fast, expressive, frantic football. And you're right in saying, you know, he does change it. There's been times where Calvin Phillips has been brought off after 20 minutes because things aren't working. If you look at the Aston Villa game, things aren't working. 20 minutes, he brings off Pascal Struijk, puts on a young Jamie Shackleton making his debut in the Premier League, and we win the game 3-0. Second half, absolutely battered them because he makes a few tweaks here and there, you know. And managers like Dean Smith are just changing like for like substitutions where he's moving stuff around constantly. Yeah.
And that's the thing with Arsenal. We've been very predictable this year. You know, 60 minutes we take Lacazette off for Eddie and Nketiah. We take, you know, Willian off for Pepe, and it's that unpredictability. Someone even said in the comments there, I wish I could swap Arteta for Bielsa. I think a lot of people would enjoy Bielsa's football at Arsenal. I think what surprised me with Leeds is the amount of goals you've scored. You know, you've scored loads of goals since you've been in the league. Has that surprised you how well you've sort of adjusted to the league?
I always thought we would do well in the Premier League, and that's not like me being arrogant or anything like that. I just think the Premier League's better suited to us than the Championship, because the Championship just put 11 men behind the ball, and it was just trying to attack versus defence, trying to break them down, and at times it was rock hard and so frustrating, man. And I knew we'd get a lot more time and space in the Premier League. More space, less time, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of, say, Patrick Bamford, yes, massively surprised. There's been times where, like I've said, when Eddie was there, we were saying play Eddie. There's been times where a lot of people have said, I don't want him at the football club in that first season, play Kemar Roof. And he's just got better and better. And I genuinely didn't see him. I think he's up to 8 now. I think 8 goals. Yeah, one less than the whole Arsenal side, to be fair.
Yeah, there you go. That tells you a lot, isn't it?
So he's smashing it. So, I'd like to see a bit more shed, but I mean, if he continues bagging them, then man, I am a little bit surprised, if I'm honest. Like that first game against Liverpool, wow, man, when they scored that penalty, and when they scored that penalty after a few minutes, I was like, oh no, man. And
hammered,
then Harrison went up and scored that wonder goal. To be fair, it was man, it's been good.
I mean, speaking of managers, our manager at the moment during this break, he's coming for a little bit of stick. Some of the fans are slowly have turned against him a little bit. You know, as a Leeds fan, what have you made of Arteta? Do you look at him and kind of think, well, you know, he won you the FA Cup, or are you looking and thinking, I'm really surprised how bad the football's sort of been at Arsenal?
No, I mean, I think he's doing all right personally. I mean, from the outside looking in, I get the football and I get Arsenal are used to expressive, decent football, creating a lot of chances, and that hasn't been the case of late. I was on, like I say, Football Terrace last night, and people were calling him like Pulis and stuff. I read something like this. I was
Mikel Pulis, they call him.
Some mad stuff. But listen, just look at the likes of Lampard and Ollie. I'm not a fan of either of them. I think they're both no good. Arteta's coming in. He's got a bit more about him for me. Look, let's not forget, Curtis, Arsenal hadn't won a game away at a top 6 side since 2015. And he's done that for you by making sure you're resolute at the back and playing the way that he's doing. Obviously, maybe he doesn't feel he has the personnel at the moment to let the shackles off as he would like to, because I'm assuming he would want to. There's no way Arteta wants to continue this style of play throughout his managerial career. I don't see this being his ethos. But he's done that, and he's won you an FA Cup, man. That's a big thing. That's a big thing, man. So I think he's doing all right. But I did also see, we do a show on a Friday where we look at the weekend's games, and I remember doing a bit of research on Arsenal, and his record at the time was actually worse than Unai Emery's, which I was like, wow. Because maybe if Emery's in charge, you'd all be calling for his head now, and maybe there's only parts of the fan base that are doing that, and maybe that's because he's won an FA Cup, but he has the right to have that time because he has won a major trophy, man. The FA Cup's a big trophy, isn't it?
I mean, that's why I wanted to ask you that, because I think sometimes we're a little bit spoiled, if you like, because we've won the FA Cup a lot, so we kind of brush it off like, oh, it's only the FA Cup. But, a lot of clubs would love to win an FA Cup. So I think he is entitled to more time to fix it. It's just a style of football. You said yourself, you love Bielsa's football. If Bielsa left and all of a sudden you had 8, 9 men behind the ball and he was pumping it long, your fans would not enjoy it. So we have got to give him time. Looking ahead to the game this weekend, what's your thoughts? What's your prediction?
I do think we'll get all 3 points, if I'm honest, Curtis, and I do genuinely.
I can tell you do, yeah.
I'm always confident though with this Leeds United side, and I'm not trying to. It's no disrespect to Arsenal. I'm always confident. I always feel we can get something, and we've shown that against the likes of Liverpool and against the likes of City, man. We run City very close, and they're a top side, man. I do think we can get something just because there's going to be a real, I guess Arteta's going to want them to play out from the back. And I just know that when we hunt in packs and some of the individuals you have in the back line will get caught out at times. I think the key thing is, Curtis, the first goal. If Arsenal get it, then my opinion might change. And that's always the case with Bielsa and Leeds United. The first goal is so important, because if a team gets the first goal, they can then defend resolutely. And it sometimes can be hard for us to break them down, especially we have heavy focus on the wings. And if you've got 3 centre-backs or 3 players in the back three, I think Tini, Gabriel and maybe Holding, will it be, or Louise? It can come a little bit like attack v defence, and we're just peppering the box and the defenders are heading it out. So the first goal is so important, but I do think we'll start quickly. And as soon as that ball goes to them, anyone in that back three, we're going to be hunting impacts and hopefully looking to nick it away. And the fact Partey's missing, I know Xhaka had a bit of a tough time of it in that FA Cup game as well, Curtis, to be fair.
That game. Yeah, you was popping us off the pitch.
Yeah, and we've got, and there was a few players in there, like Robbie Gotts, for example, made his debut. He's now on loan at Lincoln, so we've got a better quality of player now as well. Rodrigo back after his COVID. He's a huge player for Leeds. Calvin back.
What's he been like? Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine, mate.
You know what? I play FIFA a little bit, actually. And that
he's class on that, isn't he?
He's so quick, man.
But
I remember at one time I saw him being linked with like Barcelona and that when he was at Valencia. And next minute, Leeds are being linked with him. I'm like, nah, that's not going to happen. And then you signed him. I thought, wow, man, what a signing. What's he look like for you, look?
He's been great, man. I think, like you say, it is such a shock. But our sporting director, Victor Orta, pulls off some worldies at time. I mean, the fact they pulled in Bielsa shows you, And, Rodrigo, unreal player. He contracted COVID and he's missed 2 weeks. And it's no surprise that we haven't performed to the levels that we can without him in the side, because we thought he was coming in to be, I guess, competition for Bamford. But due to an injury from Pablo Hernandez, he's been playing in the 10, and genuinely, when he gets that ball, he's so creative, and know that when he picks it up, he'll be looking to slide in Bamford, slide in, click on the overlap. You know, he's a great player, and it's no surprise that since he's been injured, that we have struggled to create as much as we normally would. So it's a massive plus that he's back in the side, and one to watch out for, Curtis. And another one as well, bro. I don't know if you know Luke Ayling.
I think he used to be at Arsenal. Didn't he, when he was younger? Yeah,
he used to be at Arsenal. He actually jokes that he's played Champions League football because he made it on the bench for one game due to injuries at Arsenal. So he always says, "Oh, I've played Champions League." But he's gonna. I think he's going to have a real fight for this, because obviously he was released from Arsenal. He went down to Yeovil and he's made his way back up to the Premier League, and he's going to really want to put a performance in. And he did a great job on Mane. The fact that Aubameyang's going to be on that side, I think he's going to do a great job. And he's so good at going forward. And I'm not sure that Aubameyang maybe will track him, because, you know, Luke Ayling at time picks it up in the box, you know, and he's a right back, you know. Yeah. So watch out for Luke Ayling, because I think he'll have a point to prove, Arsenal fans. Yeah, watch out.
What's your score prediction then?
I do think I'm going to go 2-0.
Wow, 2-0. You're not even giving us one goal.
Well, the reason I do that is because, like you said, 9 goals, it's not great. Listen, if Arteta was to switch it up, and I genuinely, Arsenal could win the game and win it comfortably. Whether or not he will, I think there's a reluctance to let the shackles off. And I think it'll even be more so knowing what Leeds bring. He's probably going to be going, I can't let the shackles off in this game, because if they catch us, bam, they're going to do is in the transition. So I think he's going to go much the same. And the fact Lacazette can't hit a band door, Aubameyang's playing left, Partey's missing. I just think Leeds United could win. I think 2-0. I might be wrong though, man. We could get battered. It is what it is. That's what you sign up for with Leeds United.
That's what you sign up for in the Prem. I mean, I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal, but I got to be honest. It's more in hope than expectation. I'm genuinely not confident in the way we're playing, and I think Arteta will be. I think he will be mindful of Bielsa. You know, he's spoken about. He's one of the coaches he's looked up to, so I don't see him coming to Leeds and just letting them loose. No. Cy Tyson says here, could you ask Joe who is his favourite all-time player for Leeds? Stay blessed, bro. Who's your favourite?
I have a massive love for David Batty.
David Batty, no nonsense centre mid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, much like Calvin, man, no nonsense Yorkshire man. I love David Batty, but I also like him, and not a lot of Leeds fan like him because of where he went in the end. But I loved Alan Smith when I was a young lad growing up. Obviously, United, so it's sort of soured the relationship, which is such a shame. But he's still one of my faves.
I tell you, probably 2 of my favourite Leeds players from back in the day. I loved Harry Kewell. That left foot, man, was sweet, and I loved Hasselbank. I mean, his right foot was like a rocket, wasn't it, when he let that off?
Do you know what? Yeah, Jimmy, great player. The thing with Harry as well, like we don't. Obviously, he went to Galatasaray. With the fans, Yeah, he actually said on social media one time, Galatasaray, the best fans in the world. So obviously that did not go down well with Leeds United fans. He's sort of been written off the history books for Leeds United fans, unfortunately, because he was a great player. He was. Yeah.
I tell you what, though, before we go, I think it's great to have Leeds United back in the Prem. You're one of them teams that I view as a proper Premier League club. I mean, no disrespect. There's certain teams in the Prem, probably, you know, Brighton and Burnley, and even when Norwich were there, I don't really view them as Prem clubs. You know, I think Leeds and teams like that, great atmosphere, great history. It's just a shame we couldn't go. I was really looking forward to going to that ground. But finally, what do you expect for Leeds this season? Is it just a case of stay up, or do you now think you can finish mid-table, even top half of the table?
Yeah, I do. I don't want to get too carried away because it'll end up coming back to bite me, you know. But yeah, no, look, I think top top half is a realistic possibility. I know that might sound mad on the back of 2 4-1 defeats, but who'd have thought Sheffield United done what they did? I look at the Wolves model. That's the model that Leeds United are going to follow, and it wouldn't surprise me if within 2-3 seasons we're in Europa League at least. I believe that with Bielsa, because if we kick on and get top half, we'll invest again. We'll bring in a better quality of player. And with him in charge, anything is possible, genuinely, Curtis, because he's that good. I love the man.
Yeah, he is a great manager, and he's a likable character, isn't he? I think other fans, they've got a lot of respect for him as manager, man. So it's going to be an interesting game. I'll be doing a watch along. You're going to be doing a watch along on your channel as well.
Yeah, so I fully expect Arsenal fans to come over if they start beating us.
Well, listen, if we beat you, I'll be over there in the comments, man. So thank you very much for coming on. Tell the people where they can find you anyway if they want to subscribe.
Yeah, the Twitter handle @WaymanJoe, and of course AllLeedsTV on all the socials and on YouTube. So if you could come on over, man, subscribe, and like I say, we do a show tonight as well, looking at and previewing the weekend's games. So we've got an Arsenal fan on that as well. So come on over; it'll be a great chat tonight.
Yeah, man. And Cy Tyson says, keep up the great work, Curtis. Stay safe, guys. Thanks a lot for that. Appreciate you coming on, Joe. We'll speak after the game, hopefully.
Let's do it.
Hopefully I'll be smiling, but I'm not overly confident. Take care, everyone, in the comments, man. Bless for that.